Hey, David McGuffin here. Welcome to Travel Talk Tuesday on Valentine's Day, 2023, February the 14th. I'm here at home in my kitchen in Middleburg, Florida, and winging it by myself tonight. Everybody else has a night off, and because they've got better things to do than do a Travel Talk Tuesday. If some of you are joining in, I surely appreciate it. I'm not really technical on all of this stuff, so I hope it's coming through both on Zoom and on Facebook. Gosh, we had a great week here in Florida, and I'm looking forward to sharing with you tonight some of my favorite romantic destinations throughout Europe. There's a lot of them, and it was tough to whittle them down, but in my, almost 40 some odd years of traveling, I've come across quite a few. So I'm just going to whittle it down to 5 or 6 tonight, and I hope you enjoy looking at that. Let me, before I get to that, I want to, I did a little cooking demonstration today. Last Sunday night, as everybody knows, was Super Bowl Sunday, and I was preparing a kind of a healthier choice chicken wing dish, but it wasn't chicken wings. It was just chicken strips or chicken tenders. So let me see if I can get that video up here and show you that process. While it's going on, I'm going to go ahead and start my oven back here because it's on the stove back there to put into the oven for our meal tonight. Let's see if I can get this up and going.
Buffalo chicken strips. In the past, this I prepared typical Sunday meal. Very healthy, good base, not a whole lot of calories. Sweet neighboring buffalo wing sauce. That goes to you for about a half a cup of that, a half a cup of panko breadcrumbs, and then a little bit of dried parsley, about a half a tablespoon of that, a half a tablespoon of garlic powder, a half a tablespoon of onion powder, and then maybe a tablespoon or a little bit more of chopped onions, flaked onions. I use the Montreal steak seasoning, which is a mixture of pepper and salt, and also some other spices as well. And then just a pinch or two of kosher salt or sea salt. Now I'll mix those dry ingredients later, but for the chicken, I took the chicken breast, butterflied it in half, and then cut them into strips. Now I'm going to just put them in a quart-sized baggie and pour on some of that buffalo spicy bean sauce. About a half a cup goes in. I just kind of eyeball it, put it in the baggie, shake it around, and then I put it in the refrigerator for 2 or 3 hours at least to kind of saute, macerate, and marinate. Now for the dry ingredients. About a half a cup of panko breadcrumbs. Then comes the dried parsley, eyeballing it. I'm probably pretty close to a tablespoon of all of these ingredients. And then we have the garlic powder. That's a little bit more than I needed. It came out quickly. A little bit of the onion powder. It was kind of stuck to the bottom of the can, so that was a pretty not much in there. And then these onion flakes, they're from Costa Kirkland brand, and it has no salt in it. Then the Montreal steak seasoning, which again is a mixture of some salt and pepper and other spices, and a pinch of salt. And that concludes the dry ingredients. Stir it up, and then I'll dredge those chicken strips later on. And another hint is this stretch plastic wrap from Costco, Kirkland Signature wrap. It's fantastic. It comes in a huge roll with a little slicer, better than anything you can find in the supermarkets. Costco ought to give me royalties for bringing that up tonight. So you can see the marinated chicken strips and that buffalo sauce, and out pretty good. About 4 hours in there in the baggie. Now I'm dredging them and all that dry mixture of the panko, breadcrumbs, the parsley, garlic powder, onion flakes, black pepper, salt, and Montreal seasoning, and putting them on this rack. And once I get them all on the rack, I'm going to put them in a 400-degree oven and bake for 18 to 20 minutes. And they come out really good and tasty. I love to dip them in that buffalo chicken wing sauce and also some blue cheese. So that's going to be my menu for tonight. Travel Talk Tuesday. Not so great for Valentine's Day, but it's what I can come up with, given all the things that happened to me today during Valentine's Day, which is another story in itself.
Okay, well, I've got it going and it's back here. I've got the oven cranked up and going too, so it looks pretty good. And it takes about 20 minutes or so in the oven to bake it at 400. And we'll have that and along with some French fries as well for Travel Talk Tuesday. I'll share it with you after it's finally done, and we'll see how it all plays out tonight. Again, I'm winging this on my own, so I hope I've got everything going. But without further ado, let's see if I could get into the romantic destinations here in what I think is a really good. Hey, so Paris, Lauterunen, Bellagio, Venice, and Zakopane and Greece. Paris, wow, I can't think of a better place than to be romantic than here under the Eiffel Tower in Paris with it flickering. The Eiffel Tower was built in 1889 for the Paris World Exposition, and that was in the days of the Impressionists. It went up within 6 months and has been there ever since. We really enjoy on our tours to have a evening to sit below the Eiffel Tower in this big park called the Champ de Mars, and to assemble a picnic from some of the supermarkets and the markets nearby. Everybody brings a little bit and we share it all, and we have a great time watching the tower illuminate on the hour for 5 minutes every hour and when it gets dark. What a beautiful time, what a wonderful time to do that. And that's an integral part of our Exploring Europe trips as we go through France when the weather is nice. These videos were taken over a period of more than 10 years. This one's probably dating back to 2008 or so. This is my friends Gino and Ethel at the Eiffel Tower some years back, having a great time. It is hard not to be romantic when you're there. Well, good morning from Paris. We've taken the Eurostar from London, and about 5:40. So early on in our London and Paris tours, we did a couple of tours that included going to the Jacksonville Jaguars game in London. And part of that had to do with a whole day trip, leaving about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning to Paris and coming back around midnight. And this was one of those events. I've changed it up quite a bit since then because Paris is worth more than just 12 hours. But you get the gist of a little bit of what we're talking about here in October. Now we're here in Paris about 9:30, and up at the Sacré-Cœur, we've got about a little over 12 hours to
be here in Paris to see the city. So let me show you a little bit around on this road. They Paris. Hey, right here in Paris.
This is a Sacred Heart Church way up on the mountain above Paris. Just inside these little city walls is an area called Montmartre, the Mountain of the Martyr, and this is the Place de Terre. And this Place de Terre is very famous because there's a lot of artists who come there, show up, and are there to draw your caricature, cut out a silhouette of you, and even sketch a drawing of you, or go to the whole deal and do an oil painting or at least a chalk painting. I've had that done at least one time. That's only one time since I've been going to Paris, since 1977, but it was a pretty good experience. You can see it's crowded. This was in October, oh gosh, 10 years ago or so. But you can see some of the artists here. They're all set up with their easels, ready to sketch you, very affordable. And you can spend like an hour sitting down there if you want to for them to make a really detailed sketch, or 5 minutes for someone to come up to you and sketch you right there. And they're all pretty good because they can't make a living if they're not, and they do a great job. On this region, it's the highest point in Paris, and you can see a windmill, or in French, moulin. And this is one of the several windmills that are still standing up there because the wind was so vast, it was you were able to grind grain and everything else up there. The most famous windmill is Moulin Rouge, so the red windmill.
Well, let's see. As you can see, we have made it here to the Trocadero with the Eiffel Tower in the background. Champs de Mars beyond that. Continuing our 12 hours in Paris theme, we've spent some time up on Montmartre, Sacré-Cœur, taking the metro down here to the Trocadero. We're going to do a little stroll to the Champs de Mars, so park down there and grab some lunch. A great day here. Beautiful weather, about 50 degrees. October the 29th, I believe is what it is. So anyway, let's go take a look at the Eiffel Tower.
The fall is a wonderful time of year to be in Paris. Not too hot. Most of the tourists are gone back to school and work and everything. And you can see it's pretty much tourist and crowd free. This is back in the day before these. This is Brandy and Carlos, who traveled with us a few years back as well. This is, a few friends there of us toasting there on the Champs de Mars. Charlotte and I right here as well. And you can see that most of my tours always enjoy spending some time picnicking and enjoying the ambiance there in front of the Eiffel Tower. Now, this is a little bit off the beaten track. It's called the Canal Saint-Martin. And it's a little bit near the old Opera, where actually the French Revolution began, and near the Bastille, as a matter of fact. You can't go to Paris without having some escargot. I love it. Another view of the Sacré-Cœur. I guess this is a montage of photos. This is from the Eiffel Tower. I don't go up there, but maybe once every 5 or 6 years. But it was a wonderful day. I got up top, taking some photos, looking out all over the place, looking down, straight down into the little park below the Eiffel Tower. That's the military school and the place where Napoleon is buried. And this is looking back to the same direction. This is the Notre Dame Cathedral. There's 3 or 4 photos of this going in. Of course, this was before the roof burnt off a few years back, but you can see Paris sprawls on for miles and miles and miles. Of course, the Seine River runs right through Paris, or the Seine River, as they call it. Another view of the Eiffel Tower. and we're going to leave Paris and head down to Venice. Oh my gosh, what a canal city in the north of Italy.
Got it here, right here in the heart of Venice, St. Mark's Square. Rainy day, and it's high water, acqua alta. So the entire piazza is almost flooded, depending on the time. We just visited inside the basilica behind me. Had to walk on the planks to get inside there and see the beauty inside there. But just take a look around here, because the Piazza San Marco is flooded and loaded with tourists as well. Grand 360-degree view of Piazza San Marco. Taking a lot of money selling these little slip-on disposable goods, 10-euro%. Oh, from Piazza San Marco here in Venice on a rainy and wet day. Your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin's Exploring Europe. Ciao.
You can't go to Venice without having fresh fish. This is a pretty amazing. July 2021. The first time we were able to get to Italy after the COVID shutdown.
Bravo.
That's my daughter-in-law, Lori. That's Lori's parents, Doris and Ralph. Charlotte here. But look at the Grand Canal in Venice. Not a soul here.
And this is the Grand Canal. There is nobody on here at 9 o'clock at night. Unbelievable. Hey,
I'm gonna stop this real quick, because this, every time I look at it, I marvel at the way in which we happen to come across these two gondoliers. No, none of the gondoliers were getting any business back in that time, July 2021. And we were walking. I knew that we were there with Brian and Lori and our two grandkids, Julia and Lillian, and Lori's parents. And I knew we needed to take a gondola ride, but I didn't have a whole lot of hope there would be any gondoliers around, because there weren't any tourists in town. But lo and behold, we came across these two guys. And usually gondoliers are kind of standoffish, and they take care of their own thing. And but these guys were so excited to see us. They sang for us, told us a little bit about everything, and you can see that we're in the canals and on the huge Grand Canal without a soul on there. What an amazing experience. It'll never happen again. It never happened before that either. But there is some positive things about the pandemic and getting back to travel.
This is beautiful.
this is crazy.
See, COVID has its perks.
Yeah, it does. Because hey, listen, this seriously is crazy, because this is the Grand Canal, 9 o'clock at night in the middle of July. And a moment ago, there was not even any other boat beside our gondola here, but now just one fisherman and one taxi. Never, ever, ever
Relax.
have I seen such.
So this what is the meaning of this? That it's unique. The architecture is unique. Very. There's nothing similar. They like it looks like a castle.
Ah.
On one of the little canals back off the Grand Canal. Usually this is where the gondoliers take everyone, because at least it's a little bit peaceful.
Oh, yeah?
Born and raised here. I'm not sure, I don't remember exactly how many gondoliers there are in Venice. They're all and the positions are inherited and transferred down from one generation to the other within a family. So it takes a lot to be doing what they do. Gosh, it's so peaceful. Again, back on the Grand Canal. After we finished up that gondola ride, we went back to the Lido, which is the beach of Venice. This is a sunset looking back over to the city of Venice. Arriving in Venice, we are near the Santorini neighborhood and the gardens, the Giardini. And we're going to take a little walking tour. They kind of wander some of the back roads, back streets, back lanes, back canals, back bridges. We're going to take a little walk that wanders through the bridges and some of the islands here in Venice, ending up in Piazza San Marco. So I hope you enjoy this look around here. I call this walk my Piazza and Ponte walk, the squares and the bridges of Venice. Venice. See, there's no bicycles and no cars here in Venice. So it's all pedestrian or boats. It said that there's around 120 islands and over 400 bridges to connect everything together. There's a Hilton hotel in Venice called the Molino Stucchi. It was an old mill, and Hilton bought it and developed it into this. And it's on an island just across from the Grand Canal. And on top, they built a pool there. And I stayed there one night in my entire career, my entire life, just to experience this. Venice is actually one of my favorite cities. You can get off the beaten path. And if you get away from Piazza San Marco, then everything is peaceful. Piazza San Marco at the Quadri outdoor cafe here. You can see the Twin Jet playing in the background. What a great experience. A perfect way to end a day in Venice. Hey, your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. There's 4 cafes on that square that have musicians and they rotate everything. Okay, now to the Swiss Alps, my favorite place, the Lauterbrunnen Valley. Hey, I'm about halfway through my trip that I call the best of Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and France. So we had the whole day today. Perfect weather here in the Lauterbrunnen Valley. I squandered away the morning, was doing some clothes and wash, and then decided to come on up this afternoon, taking the views and get a little exercise in the mountains. A fantastic place to visit here because everything is connected by trains and trails and lifts and cog railways and buses. So you can do as little or much walking as you want to do. As you can tell, I'm laboring uphill. Hey, listen, your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin's Exploring Europe. This is one of the many trains that traverse the mountains and the valleys of the Lauterbrunnen area, or the Berner Oberlands, as it's called in general. This train connects a lift that comes up from Lauterbrunnen to Grushalp, and then from here to Mürren. This is a village of Lauterbrunnen with the falls in the background. Gosh, just a pristine place to be. Alpenhorns. And a, I don't know, do you call those color guard? Not really. From the band director, not really. A very detailed flag thrower. Again, looking through these valleys.
Hey, this is David Guffin, high above the village of Winterberg in the Swiss Alps. We're in a little meadow here. Looks like some people are sunbathing at that time as well. The place is hiked up to about an hour and a half above Lauterbrunnen. What a great time. A little meadow, plenty of flowers like the microcosm here of Bonn. From Switzerland, your adventure begins here with David Guffin.
Obviously, that's in the middle of the summer. I guess Charlotte and I were on that hike together. From Lauterbrunnen, we go to Bellagio in northern Italy.
We're up in the Alps. We're driving down this very, very crooked road from St. Moritz down to Chiave into Italy. And you can see probably going beside me, this looks like Christmas. There's snow everywhere. We were up over 6,000 feet. The temperature this morning was, what was it, like 8 degrees? 4 degrees. It was very, very chilly, but it was just a beautiful, pristine place to go and stay overnight. St. Moritz is a resort town. And it was just beautiful. Look out here in front of us. We're driving down this road. It's a little bit of the scenery that we have. Here's my GPS too that we just purchased. It seems to be helping us out a lot too.
Wow, that's a Garmin GPS, outdated nowadays.
Right there. So anyway, just to give you a little perception of what this adventure is like for Charlotte and I. A little town that we're coming into. Every one of them have a church and a bell tower, and you can see that the snow is piled up. I think it just snowed 2 nights ago, so it's piled up, and they do a very good job of clearing the road. But it's very interesting the way this looks here. Hey, we made it down back to Lake Como, which is where we are now. We're on a ferry. Behind me is the town of Verona, where we stayed a couple of nights ago. And if you look back in this direction here, you can see the Alps. And that direction we drove down from St. Moritz this morning. And we're going back around in this direction to the tip lake here to the town of Bellagio. And we'll see that in a second. Okay, so we made it to our hotel in Bellagio. And this is the Hotel Bellagio, and we've got a double bed, pretty nice room here. The most fantastic thing is that we've got a view of the lake right out through here, and it's not a bad deal either. About €90 is what we paid for this. So so far, this is the best hotel we stayed at in the last 3 nights. So we're gonna go get some pizza or something for lunch.
Various seasons on Lake Como. This is in the fall and in the summer. Up in here on Lake Como up in northern Italy. We've rented a boat for the day for about 4 hours, and we've been just kind of puttering around the lake, having a great time. We've picked up some sandwiches in one of the villages, and now we're out here in the very middle of the lake, kind of halfway between the town of Como and the Swiss Alps up to the north behind us. What a great way to see this lake and all the little villages. Pretty inexpensive when you think about the time and the effort spent in doing it. It's just a beautiful day. Hey, your adventure starts right here on Lake Como with David McGuffin's Exploring Europe. Very good. And Lake Como, we're gonna see what it feels like to swim this stuff. They tell me it's really, really cold, but I said your adventure starts here. Charlotte got in, and also John and Audra, who were on the boat with us as well, has some frigid water. Some friends at Lake Como. This is Debbie and Ernie, some very good friends of ours as well. Charlotte and I, they're on Lake Como in Bellagio. My favorite place on Lake Como, Bellagio, Bella Vista. Very, very good place to stay. Byron and Laura were with me the first time I ever met them. They were with me on Lake Como. This is on the beach in Verena with a Campari Spritz. Charlotte and I are here again. Here. And today I'm in the perfectly charming city of Bellagio, Italy, up on Lake Como. And gosh, this is the perfect place. Okay, do you understand why I like Lake Como? How many of these videos do I need to show? Lake Como is on our Best of Italy tour, and it's the next to the last stop. So you end up going to Florence for a couple of days, then to Venice for a couple of days, and then to Bellagio, or the area in Lake Como, for 2 days, and the tour finishes up in Milan. Don't miss out on this region of Italy. It's often overlooked, but it is well worth the time and the money to get there. Just while away a few hours, enjoy the lake views and the mountains, the foothills of the Alps. Do some shopping along the streets. Maybe look for a nice scarf or a silk tie. This street here at the top of town is known as Via Garibaldi. And let me just spin right around here. You can see just over my shoulder and down the hill, the lake and the mountains in the background. And it's just beautiful. So hope you enjoy this little look around Bellagio here on Lake Como. I think this little trip that I did is from the very top of town, and I'm going to walk around and go to the bottom, to the lakeside. These steps are about 6 streets that come up steeply on these steps, but you can take a shorter route, a longer route, and a less steep route along the road. Okay, I've made it to the bottom of town here along the lake. Fighting the sun, I'm looking right to the west. And now looking a little bit to the northwest or so over to the villages of Menaggio in this direction. A lot of shops. Charlotte and I both bought some freshly made and locally made silk scarves here in this town, and spent a whole lot more money on them than we should have. But they have lasted us a lifetime, and we've got some great memories and wear them all the time. This is the promenade. The lake there to the right, the town to the left. And just across where those cars are parked. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this look around Bellagio here on Lake Como. A beautiful place to come and spend a few days. Your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin's Exploring Europe. Ciao from Lake Como. From Lake Como, we go into the winter to Zakopane, Poland. That's up here in this area. So I got to stop and tell you, we were going to do Christmas markets tours in 2021. Europe shut down. Charlotte and I already had flights booked. So we said, to heck with it. We're going and we're going to do what's called Chasing Christmas. And we did. We made it to some markets and everything else, but we ended up in this place I've never been before, or we've never been before. We were able to go to Poland, which is very, very close to the border of Ukraine. We were, went to Auschwitz, the terrible Nazi concentration camp. We also went to the nearby city there. And then when we were there having dinner one night, one of the waitresses said, I said, where do we want to go here? I've got like 5 more days and we can't go to Austria. She said, go to ZAKOPANE. So we found ZAKOPANE, and it is a winter wonderland that we're going to go back to again and again and again. This is the dinner we had. Gosh, you saw escargot, snails right there. And I think I've got a few pictures of a Charlotte's filet steak with a hunk of butter on it. And here is my porterhouse steak, filet on one side and sirloin on the other. Oh my gosh, the food was wonderful. The snow was coming down outside, but inside it was warm and inviting, a fire in the fireplace and everything else. It's just kind of like, I've never been to a ski resort because I don't ski.
Hey, so
but
we
that's
just
what I
had
think it
dinner
is.
right down here past these blinking Christmas trees. The snow has been falling for the last hour and a half or so, and everything is covered in fresh powdered snow. We're having a great time here in Poland. What's the name of this town, Charlotte?
Oh, wait a minute. Zakopane.
Zakopane. And we've happened here in a winter wonderland, and we're looking forward to spending another day here. I don't know what we're going to do, but we'll find an adventure because it's just a great place to explore. We were in Krakow earlier the last couple of days, and several big cities along the way. It's nice to be in a small little village right now. Your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin's Exploring Europe.
I'm not getting run over.
The next day, we went up the hill and found this little village above Zakopane
How's the song?
and had a sleigh ride.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride on a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, Merry Christmas from David and Charlotte McGuffin. Your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin's Exploring Europe, where you've got a real sleigh ride going on here. Never done that before. We've had a buggy ride with wheels on it, but this is a real live sleigh ride with a horse and an authentic driver.
Look at that. Okay, my fake chicken wings are in the oven, French fries in the air fryer. By the time this is over, we'll be having our Valentine's Day dinner.
So it says.
Wait a minute. So down below, we were thinking it said something like Merry Christmas or whatever, but actually the English translation is the Land of Light. How is it pronounced, Charlotte?
Kraina Zvatla.
But it is beautiful, right? The Land of Light.
Yes, it is very beautiful.
I'm gonna flip the phone around so you can see some more of it.
Speaking of romance, we had a unique experience there. Right where we were standing, I was looking down the hill, speaking of romance, and lo and behold, I saw a guy kneel down on his knee and asked a lady to marry him, a young lady to marry him, and put a ring on their finger. And I whipped out my phone and I was filming this. And I felt kind of crazy because after it was all said and done and they started walking back up the hill, I came up to the young man and said, first of all, I'm sorry, I don't speak your language, but do you speak English? And they said, yes. And I said, well, listen, I saw what you just did and I was filming. Would you like it? And he was like, no. But his fiance said, give me that video. So we emailed it to him right away and shared it with him. So that is a very romantic experience right there. We're going to close it out with Santorini. There we go.
Okay.
We are on the caldera, the volcano that blew its top off and filled up with water on the island of Santorini.
I'm not going to jump across there.
This too was just after COVID-19, July or maybe June of 2021. We were the first tourists these people have seen in 18 months. What a great time we had. Beautiful weather, beautiful day. Santorini Island is definitely a romantic destination. My tours to Santorini on the Best of Greece tour, we spent 5 hours on one of these catamarans. These guys fix dinner for us. We have several swim stops, jump in, and then we see the sun set back to the west and have such a great time and great experience.
Santorini and on a cruise with 14 of our friends here. This is cruise. We got a 4, 5, 6 hour trip around the caldera here in Santorini, and we're on the red beach right now. Let me just turn around and let you look at that. So you can see this volcanic rock is all red, and there's a beach that's got red sort of sand on it. I think we're going to jump in the water right here and take the plunge. Okay, let's see what happens. Pretty good shooting in the sun. Hey, we're still cruising around Santorini. We're coming from the south and we're coming around right through this sea stack here, going in a moment into the caldera. There's some caves here as well. Sorry, Leslie.
This is amazing. What an experience. Don't go to Santorini without doing one of these sunset cruises. It's included on our trips with the Best of Greece because it's something not to be missed.
Okay, guys, here, help me with this video too. Travel Talk Tuesday. Hey, we're on Santorini. Got the sunset right here. A couple of people are blocking it, but I guess that's okay. I wonder who. Let's hear that. Let's see that dance, Dad. Huh? We have fun on these trips. We've been out here for about 5 hours. Now it's about almost 8:40. The sun setting across the Aegean Sea. We're in the lagoon here, the caldera of Santorini. The village of Ia is just right up there on the cliff. We're looking out here to the sunset going out really soon. Hey, what an adventure we have.
Awesome.
What an adventure we have. Your adventure starts here with David McGuffey's Exploring Europe. We're going to watch the sun set into the Aegean Sea.
Something not to be missed. Okay. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you guys for tuning in, probably later than live. I realize it's Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. We'll catch you next week on Travel Talk Tuesday. Thank you guys for tuning in and enjoy it with someone you love. Okay, your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin's Exploring Europe. Ciao.